This is Jordan with ScienceFiction.com here with Shane Davis and Michelle Delicki. Is that right? Delicki. Yeah. Sorry, Michelle Delicki. Here to talk about their new book, Ascend. Guys, can you tell us a little bit about the book?
Oh, it's, what can I say about it, Ascend? It's, what if you were invited by a mysterious AI to play a game online, and you're sucked into the game literally, and when you come out, you actually bring part of the game back out into the real world with you. And it's more like not about gaming per se, but about the mentality of gaming and, you know, losing sight of reality and, you know, fantasy and where that line is and crossing that line in the real world. So,
where did you come up with the idea for this book?
I was always a big fan of like Guyver and Devilman, and I always liked the idea of teens with a lot of power and ultra violence type thing. But I really needed to come up with a mechanism to get to that part and that type of fun storytelling. I like superheroes, but I really want to do something a little bit, you know, with more consequence, I guess, and not so much good versus evil type things. So I like kind of like the gray area, you know, with this. So
you sort of move a little bit away from superheroes, but keep the action-adventure aspects?
I definitely want to keep that type of cosmetic and that adventure aspect and that type of bright, colorful characters, but I wanted to kind of do more sci-fi with it on, especially with, I like the idea of being able to upgrade and grow, which a lot of American comic characters really don't do that much. A lot of anime material does, like Bleach or Dragon Ball. There's levels and tiers to characters, power levels and stuff, so I kind of wanted to do that with Axcend's characters. And that actually started, the more I thought about it, the more that was the whole story. And like how you could build a whole story off of, that's a very bad thing, you know, for a character to keep growing and getting more powerful. And it really all becomes about that character's moral compass, you know, and that's kind of a lot of the theme of the book, I think, right?
Yeah, pretty much sums it up.
Yeah. So it's really not more about power and responsibility, but consequences and power, you know, or power and consequence, you know, of power, you know. So that's going to be the major theme of the book, you know, lack of responsibility, I guess.
So you said the character is going to level up as they grow. So as the series goes on, we're going to be seeing each of these lead cast members sort of level with themselves and have to deal with these new abilities?
They basically all have like what they call as a core, and they talk about it a little bit in the first issue, at least the main character does, but they all have one. And the core, basically it's all about gaining more XP and growing, and that can come from doing good things, but mainly bad things, like kills, of course, boss kills, which becomes a real big issue in the real world because that would translate to like a head of government or something. Actual murder of, like, you know, like a president or a leader of a nation, you know. That's super XP, you know. You know, taking out tanks, of course, but if you can hit the king, you know, then that's a lot of XP. And that's actually a big problem when the antagonist of the series, Ruin, comes into the real world. That's the first thing he wants to do, is keep growing. And the more he grows, which they couldn't beat him in the game world, but the more he grows, the less likely they'll even beat him in the real world. And that's the real structure of Axcend, is in the game they die, they respawn, die, respawn. In the real world, there's no evidence if they'll even be able to respawn. There's still the real world, you know. And our character, Eric Morn, I mean, he can grow and get XP by stealing fancy cars like GTA or something like that, but like he'll find out really quick, like it's very boring when you can just grab something and not have to, it doesn't seem so much awesome just to be able to get things for free, you know. So it's a lot of growing. The whole cast is all teenagers, so there's a lot they don't know. Our main female protagonist, though, is like a kind of a binging pop star. So like that's really fun to play with because I get to really write that egotistical, what we would all like, you know, like, but really show like a sympathetic point of view, because I think like they're very tragic in a way, that they're very sheltered and nobody treats them like a real person. They treat them like, you know, like they're a reaction to how everybody treats them. So it's very fun to look through the world in her lens, I think. And Michelle's a great help with that, you know, because she's like, no, Shane, the women won't like that. And I'm like, all right, you know. You know, it's always good to bounce that off my wife, you know.
I mean, I try to keep her kind of realistic, so, you know.
It's really great, though, really, having a female's perspective on the female characters, it really helps, you know. Because the last thing I want to do is, like, step on any toes, you know, so.
You want to sort of encompass the whole audience.
No, yeah. But it was great, really, just taking time and writing a female character is, you know, it's to me, I don't know how to say it. It's a very creative process.
Everyone likes to think they understand writing the opposite sex, and then you have to sort of realize that maybe you're not quite there.
Well, it was more, you know, she helps me ring back the provocative angle a little bit, you know, which is, you know, but I'm not wrong in it. It's just, you know, it's really, you know, dial it back to 8, you know, like, you know, take it, you know.
So it keeps it leveled.
Yeah.
The thing is that she's really she's kind of like a Miley Cyrus type of character, you know, just like really trying to outdo herself constantly.
Amy Winehouse, yeah.
You know, so she's just performing and kind of, you know, binging on drugs and, you know,
sort of having fun doing
having fun in the moment, yeah, and kind of losing herself.
But it's a lot deeper than that, because you can see that she's #1 in the entertainment circle, and she knows that being #1 means one day you'll just be #2. Yeah. And she realizes that at a very young age, and that kind of drives her to dabble and, you know, with the pressure to escape the pressure of I'm #1 now, and tomorrow somebody's younger, fresher is going to come up, and she, you know, you can tell the character's really unhinged by that, and she doesn't know how to deal with the inedible, you know, so. And that kind of plays into the game thing. She's a gamer too, so it's kind of like she's kind of like if YouTube and Twitch had a baby. You know, she's literally like, she loves gaming. She has just as many fans watching her. Like, you know, we have games like Call of Armies, Call of Duty, whatever. She's really good at those games and has followings on it. So, and I kind of like the idea of just mishmatching two medias together, like you know, actors or sometimes musicians and vice versa. Russell Crowe tries to sing, you know, we all know. All right, so there you go. So I really like just trying to mash two things which happen to be gaming. In the world of Axcend, or in the book Axcend, you know, gaming and technology is a lot more advanced than the technology in the real world of Axcend isn't today's technology. Actually, I took and splintered time from the Reagan era on, where with the Run program. So, which is like in the satellite program, the Star Wars program is actually a nuclear weapon, you know, rather than a defense mechanism. It's a offensive mechanism. So, you know, it's like, you know, policing the world with nukes. So, you know, like a little twist on globalization.
I know you said we're going to see these characters sort of transition from the game world to the real world, but are we going to see the game world itself transitioning over as well? Because I don't know about you guys, but I'm really interested to learn more about Dog.
Dog's actually the main character in the book. To some extent, nobody really pays attention to him, but he actually comes through into the real world, but he doesn't come through. He comes through as a corrupted file, like when Rain pulls him through. But he's actually, you will see more Dog, but Dog's comes over with Rain because the betas are escaping, and he will be leading them to each other because they're trying to get to Ruin before he activates, but he doesn't know the difference between them. He's kind of like, when he comes through, he's kind of like a weird Yoda-esque, like talk backwards, corrupted, like they need to bang him on the head. He's actually kind of like a chibi version of himself too, so he's like in a backpack. And I mean, it really goes a different angle with Dog, because he actually is like a corrupted file. Like, he doesn't come through right, which is what they need, is him to come. And again, for the first time, it's very interesting because he's like, oh my God, I'm alive, and he's like, Dog doesn't want to die. Dog doesn't want to, you know, which is funny because he's a moderator in a game of death, and the first thing he's worried about is I don't want to die, you know. But it's funny because he can't remember who created the game because he's corrupted, and it becomes a real mystery of like, well, how did this even happen? Why is the game even coming out? Who makes a game that's real, you know, like. It becomes like a whole dimensional type of angle on that. So there's a lot planned out with it, but Dog is like the character to watch in the whole series, which I'm purposely, it's actually there in front of everybody. The answers to the whole thing, it's just nobody sees it. It's like there.
I know he drew me in immediately.
Yeah.
I need to know more.
Yeah, no. I mean, it'll be funny when you get to issue 4, especially. Everybody's like, they're gonna look back and be like, "You son of a bitch! It was there the whole time," you know. But nobody's pointed it out yet.
And then I know you guys worked on this together. And how is it actually working together on a project like this as husband and wife? Has it been a good working experience?
I'll let her speak about the workings for me.
Yeah, there you go, there you go.
No. No, actually, you know what? We get along. I mean, you know, I haven't killed you yet.
Yeah,
we
both,
do.
I'm breathing. It's working. It's working.
We do work. You know.
I have a healthy life insurance policy. But, you know, I'm working. I'm still living. It's actually it's really great. We work together in the studio, so like nothing. It's always great having a second pair of eyes on like every step of the process.
We bounce stuff off of each other pretty often. You know.
Yeah, I mean, when I'm designing something, it's like, oh, what do you think? You know, do you think this is too much, too little? Should I pull the wings in or out? You know, I'm able to, you know, especially with something like this that can really change and grow as it goes. Like, it's really good just to have, a future sight and things and be able to bounce stuff off of somebody, you know, because you don't want to get you there and be like, oh, I never thought about it. You know, you always want to be like, I planned all this out, you know, like, so she's been there since day one of the concept, and, you know, like, I don't know. Like,
yeah, no, we bounce stuff off of each other, and I think we collaborate really well.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
All right, so if each of you had to sum up why people should be reading Ascend in one sentence, what would you say?
I'll let you go first.
Plot twists.
Yeah,
Lots of plot twists. You think for real. You think you're getting something, but you're really not getting something. And then when you think you have it figured out, guess what? You know,
it's got lots of
It's interesting,
in
I
it.
think.
I mean, there's a long game
It's
that
very
was
windy.
played. It's always had an ending, so it's not like I'm just chewing up time with this thing. This is really
There's a
going
reason
to
for
a
it,
destination.
So it's a completely planned series?
It is a completely planned series. The
Yeah.
ending was written the same time. I wrote it, the ending, in one day. Like, the whole brainchild of it kind of came out of one binge of writing, and it sat around for a couple of years. It modified a little bit, but like the ending's always been there. So it's got a destination. It's not a story that's just eating up time. It's going to A to B, you know, to C to D, you know. And we'll be working ahead, and and it's going really good, you know.
Sounds great. Well, thanks for taking the time to talk with us.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And this is Science Fiction for Ascend from Image Comics in stores now.